Hey guys, and welcome to I Want My Angst TV Reviews. I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be talking about the highly anticipated second season of the Amazon Prime series, The Wilds. Just a quick FYI, if you haven't seen season 1, I will be discussing a few things, so that is a spoiler for season 1. As far as the season 2 review goes, I'm going to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. I might do it in 2 parts of this video. We'll see what happens. So if you've been a fan of Smells Like Teen Angst since our incarnation, you would know that The Wilds was one of our very first videos that kind of popped off. I described The Wilds as kind of like Lord of the Flies meets Lost meets another mystery, but with women. However, when it comes to the second season, the creators kind of ruffled the fans' feathers a little bit by adding 8 new characters, all of which are men.
I wanted to be men.
This is only the beginning.
But the truth is, some of us were becoming monsters.
Now we know Gretchen, the person who has created this experiment, is wanting to prove that a female-led society would live more as a utopian universe kind of thing. And a male-led society, like the one we currently live in, will be nothing but chaos. And so she does this crazy, illegal experiment. At the end of season 1, we learn that not only is there the dawn of Eve, but there is also an experiment happening called the Twilight of Adam. Because how else is she supposed to prove her theory correct unless she has 2 control groups, one all-female and one all-male, in order to prove her point?
Sometimes I feel guilty that we lied to her.
You did that to save her.
By the end of season 1, I was left with so many questions. Where is Martha? We haven't seen Martha like post-Island yet. Is Nora actually dead? We don't know. How does Rachel lose her hand? Which we kind of get a nugget at the end of season 1.
Shark! The shark!
What is phase 2? Did Dot make a deal with Gretchen as well? Is she also a second operative? What does the note that Shelby slipped to Leah say? And why and when does Shelby shave her head? So many questions, you guys. I have so many questions going into season 2. So let's dive in, shall we?
And right now, the Philippine diving team.
Season 2 picks up right where season 1 left off, with Rachel diving in after Nora. We learn exactly how she loses her hand. Leah is still a little in her brain, a little not all there. And Shelby and Tony are super happy and stronger than ever. So Shoni fans, that one's for you. And Nora is indeed missing. On top of that, we meet our 8 new male characters. Just like with our female counterparts, these guys come in pairs of 2 who happen to know each other, even if they're just acquaintances or happen to be at the same school. Raph and Josh are acquaintances and schoolmates. Raph is from Mexico and comes into San Diego in order to go to school every day. And Josh is that kid that has all the allergies, all the health issues, and he's just kind of like the odd kid. Bo and Scotty are best friends. We really don't learn anything about Scotty, and we kind of learn a little bit about Bo, that he comes from a very abusive family that are neat freaks. Taylor and Kieran are also schoolmates. Kieran is like the broest jock that you've ever met, and Taylor is a queer kid who is constantly fighting a battle. Henry and Seth are stepbrothers. Henry is this misunderstood goth kid, and Henry is the stepbrother that seems to be like the cool kid. However, what I will say is kind of the overarching theme of season 2 of The Wilds is never judge a book by its cover.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
I've read a handful of reviews that are out there right now that are completely shitting on season 2. Well, I will not do that because I don't think it's absolutely horrible. I do feel like it is very much a season 2. And what I mean by that is The Wilds to me feels like a 3-season show, the way it's set up: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And phase 2 is a little boring, a little sloppy, poorly written, and It is really just a means to an end. And I'm going to say this right now. It is not because they added male characters. If you were to take the storyline that they were trying to tell with the girls this season, you could have told it in like 3, maybe 4 episodes. There just wasn't enough material or even interesting material to tell about these girls. The addition of the boys, I actually think was needed in order to have Gretchen's theory be found true or false. Something you'll notice right off the bat with season 2, once we meet the boys on their island, is that they are starkly different. The boys begin this journey very argumentative, very aggressive. All of these boys are keeping secrets from each other. They aren't as trusting as the girls were in the beginning. They find a leader immediately and latch on to that person. So you can see how Gretchen's theory might be coming true with this new control group. Some things that I think season 2 did right, especially when it comes to the boys, is the topics that these men have to handle. From physical abuse to mental abuse to sexual abuse. There is a warning before the sexual abuse episode, and I think that it was done really well. We don't talk about male sexual assault enough, and the way that it is done on this show is also in a way that we don't really talk about enough. So when this moment happens, you see the divide in the group. You see the group having to mull over their own personal feelings, as well as how those feelings may or may not change as time goes on. And I found it fascinating. And as a viewer, I appreciate that the show shows us the truth and doesn't leave us in the dark and have us make a decision the way that the characters do. While I do really enjoy the addition of the guys, I really wish that they had spent more time developing them. Because something season 1 did so great with the female characters is we dove so much into their backstories. We understood exactly why each of them was chosen to come to the island. But when it comes to the male counterparts, I honestly have zero clue as to why these guys were chosen. They honestly could have been anybody, if you want to go with the stereotypes they were given. And we do get a little bit of hints of backstory on a couple of them, but not enough. Like, I want to know. I want to see the conversation like we did in season 1 as to why Seth and Henry are sent on this retreat together. Why are Beau and his bestie, who we know absolutely nothing about, I'm pretty sure they say Scotty's name like twice. Like, why are they both sent? Why is Kieran sent on this retreat? Because he gets suspended? Like, none of that is enough compared to what we learned about these girls and how their parents were manipulated into sending them. And that is honestly a huge piece that's missing from season 2. That would honestly take it from like an to Something else that I found a little annoying about season 2 is that I thought the male operative was so obvious. And I just really wish that it wasn't. And maybe season 3 will give me a surprise, but I was like, oh, there it is. Or season 1, the Nora reveal I thought was pretty shocking. My next couple thoughts might get a little spoilery, so if you're a little worried about that, just like end the review here. Give us a thumbs up, comment your thoughts. However, I just want to say that the girls and the boys do not come together on the island, which is something I think was important. You do learn that they are in 2 very separate islands, and that is because they wanted to make sure they didn't accidentally cross paths. So I think that was very smart on her end. Something else for season 2 that I thought was rather odd is Leah becomes like the main character of the show, which is bothersome to me because I don't actually like Leah. She's fine, but I don't find her the most interesting character. I don't think she's a leader. And in doing so, they bring in like the weirdest cameo of all time. When you see it, please come back to this video and be like, girl, you were right. Or most of the viewers, I think, will be like, huh? Who's that? Guys, don't even worry. I even went, are we sure? And I had to look it up. And yeah, That's exactly who it is, and it makes zero sense. I need someone to come back and explain to me why this cameo happened and why it's with this specific person.
I'm just as confused as you are.
So overall, I didn't hate season 2 of The Wild, but I also wasn't madly in love with it. Season 1 had me enthralled and on the edge of my seat the entire time. You're constantly confused. You have no idea what's going on. Season 2 was lacking in the character development for me, and in doing so, made it very sluggish. Every episode is long, and you feel that it's long. So while I hope and will be excited for a season 3 to see how this whole thing comes to a head, just get through season 2, guys, because you know it's going to be a while.
Everything that you have been through, the same thing happened to me. Don't scream.
This is only the beginning.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm Sarah. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, thumbs up this video, comment, let me know what you think of The Wild Season 2, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any more angsty videos.